and welcome to adding a buyer or lease transaction to Command Explained. This course is going to go over an overview of how to upload your deal or lease paperwork to submit to deal administration. So, step number one is to make sure that you have the contacts added into your system for the deal that you're submitting. If you don't know how to do this, please go back and review the how to add contacts video before we move forward. Once your contacts are added into the command system, the next step is to go to the opportunity section, which is right here on the left-hand side, and we're going to click on that opportunity. Now this will take us into another screen, which is going to take us to where we can see all of our opportunities that we have existing or that we've potentially previously uploaded. So you want to make sure that when you're creating a new opportunity, you're adding it in under the right category. So in this instance, it's either going to be buyers or it's going to be leases. If you already have the opportunity created for these clients, then what you're going to see underneath these different sections of the opportunity is a number. So for example, here's a number 1. That means we already have that opportunity existing. So if I click on the actual piece of paper there, it will take me in, and I can simply select that opportunity and go into the next page, which is the opportunity page with all the information, the details, the address, the clients, and I can select documents and go right through and start adding my documents into the system. If I haven't done that yet, I'm going to actually just go right back. So if you want to go back from this page, you can just click on Sales Pipeline in the top left corner. And I'm going to select the Create Opportunity button here on the right-hand side. And what I'm going to do with this is now go through and fill out this information. If you're on a team, please note that the name of the team will show up here under Team, and that the owner will be the rainmaker of the team, not yourself. That's okay, don't worry about that, because down lower there's a section where you can make sure that the deal is assigned to you. Opportunity type, you're just going to click here, and we're going to select buyer or potentially tenant, depending on which one you're uploading. To make sure that we're clear that that's the opportunity type. And then I'm just going to start typing in the client's name. Now, as I type in the name, it'll populate all of the different clients that I currently have in my system. And I'm just going to choose the correct client for the transaction. Now, the next step is to come over here and select the partner or spouse if there is one. If you've already linked their contacts in the Add Contacts section under Relationship, then that person might auto-populate like we see here. If not, you can just start typing their name and then it'll also populate and you can select it just like the client side. So I'm going to select Tammy here because she's already in the system. And now I have both buyers on the list on the form. Under opportunity name, this is very important. You need to make sure that you add the opportunity as the address of the property that you're going to be submitting the file on. So in this instance, it's going to be unit number 12, 1995 Pine Grove Avenue, and that is in Pickering. Okay. Now, make sure that you specify the actual address, the unit number if there is one, and the actual town or city that the property is located in to make it nice and clear for deal administration. Custom tags are not required in this section, however, you can put them in here if you so choose. Estimated close date is also not required, but if we happen to know what the closing date is, and in this instance we do, then you can hit put in the close date that you know. Budget, again, that's not needed here, but commission is, and we're going to be putting in the commission amount that you will be receiving on your side of the deal. And then opportunity phase means where you are in the process. So is it an active buyer and you're just uploading their original documents, their BRA, and working with the realtor, or is it a situation where a deal has already been completed? In my case, it's actually a situation where a deal has already been completed. So I'm going to select active, and then under opportunity stage, I'm actually going to select negotiations because that's where we're at this point. Now, you'll notice at the bottom, the assignee is assigned to Dylan because this is a deal that he has done. So it'll go into the system assigned to him. And that's for teams as well. So just make sure if you are a team admin or you are uploading and you're on a team that your name is here or the right agent's name is listed here. Once we're done, we're going to hit the Create button. And that's going to create an opportunity and take us back into the same page that we were looking at before. Now you'll notice there's a whole bunch of information here. If we scroll down, you can go in and fill all this information out. Absolutely, you don't need to. But over here in the property section, you do want to make sure that that information is input correctly. So I'm going to go back to this little pencil here and click edit. You can just start typing in the address and it will populate the property based on the address you've put in. Just make sure if there is a unit number or something here that you add that in as well so that it makes sense, okay? And then I'm going to go down and it's auto-populated the other information, so I'm just going to hit save. And what you're going to notice is that that now populates here, so it's in 2 spots to make sure that it's clear that that's the address of the property. Once you're done updating that section, the next step is to go here to where it says Documents. And we're just going to click right on that link, and that's going to take us into the Document Center where we can upload our paperwork. So when you first come into this section, it looks pretty blank, and it kind of is a bit confusing. So what you want to make sure is that you come over here to where it says Pick Checklist Type. You're going to drop down this arrow. Now, because we've selected that it's a buyer opportunity, it's going to give me the option to select the type of transaction it is. And I'm going to select buyer condo because that is the type of listing it is. And that's going to drop down on the right-hand side all of the different paperwork that you're going to need to submit, as well as additional forms that you might not need to submit, and those are going to say optional underneath them. Okay, what you need to take note of here is that there's actually 3 different sections on this left-hand side. So consultation is when we're working with them as a client. So you'll notice this is all of our agency forms, our working with the realtor, our buyer rep, our buyer customer service, and so on and so forth. If I click on under contract, this will give me the option to upload all of my deal paperwork, my TIS, confirmation of cooperation. So in this instance, because this deal has already been completed, I'm going to have to do both. If you'd already created the opportunity and uploaded your BRA and such in advance, then we would just be looking at the under contract section. So what you're going to do in order to add a file is come into the section where you have the file that you want to upload, and you're simply going to click over here on the right where it says add a file. Now, once you add a file, this screen is going to pop up and it's going to give you the option to choose a document on your computer that is the working with a realtor for this transaction. Please note that all of the files have to be saved as individual forms. So your working with a realtor has to be saved as one PDF, your BRA as a second PDF, and so on and so forth. If you haven't done that yet, please stop here, go back out, watch the video on how to separate and save your documents. Make sure that you break down your transaction into all of the documents as individual files, and then come on back in here and we can continue. Okay? So once you've got all of your files separated, what you're going to do is make sure that you have manual selected, and then we're just going to click right here on drag and drop or browse your files. When I click here, it's going to take me through to where I have my documents saved. So I'm just going to go to the folder that I know I have these files in. I'm going to open it up. Now I know that the first thing I'm doing is my working with a realtor, so I'm going to select that form and I'm going to hit open. And what that's going to do is attach it here, and then I'm going to hit assign. And that is going to then show that the document has been assigned to that section, okay? If you attach the wrong file, you can click on these 3 dots and hit remove nice and easy, and then reattach the right file. And you can go through and do that for all of the different documents you need for this particular transaction. Alternatively, you could also go here to where it says attach multiple files, and you can do the same thing. So for example, the BRA customer or agreement or the customer service agreement, you could also just click right here on drag and drop or browse your files, and it's going to open up your folder again, and you can select the file that you want to add there. And then you can click on this one, which is the next one, and you can select the file that you'd like to add there. And you can go through all of the different files, adding them individually until you have everything attached. This allows you to do it without having to click add a file every single time. Once you're done, you just hit the attach button, and then those documents will also show up here on the right-hand side. If for any reason you have an additional document that's not listed in this list, so for example, you have more than 2 clients and you have an extra FinTrack, or you have a survey, something of that nature, what you can do here is go to add item here on the left-hand side, and you can type in the document name. So let's say for this one, we're going to say that we're attaching a survey. We can just do it simply like this, add in the address, call it survey, and then under here where it gives us the option to select a document type, you can select whichever one makes the most sense for you. So, you could say it's an addendum if it's a Schedule C or Schedule D or whatever that looks like. It could be a disclosure. In our case, I'm just going to select other. And additional notes, I'm just going to write property survey to make it clear that that's what it is. So make sure manual is selected, and then I'm going to drag and drop again, and I'm just going to select that extra form that I want to attach, and it's going to show up down here at the bottom. I'm going to hit save, and then it's going to show up at the very bottom as a custom import, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. Okay, so once you're done attaching all of your different files, the next step is simply to submit to the Market Center. Now, if we're doing a deal and we haven't input anything yet, before we submit to the Market Center, we're going to want to go to under contract and make sure that we've additionally added all of the extra documents we need here, your TIS, your confirmation agreement of purchase and sale, and so on and so forth. Okay. Once that's all done, you're just going to hit submit to Market Center. It's not allowing me to yet because I haven't added a file, but if I go back to consultation, it'll show you that's there. And once I submit it to the Market Center, it will go directly to deal administration and to Heather and everybody else. And then what'll happen is it will give you a green bar that says submission successful, and the status will change to submitted. Now what they're going to do is review the documents that I've submitted, and they're going to come back and tell me if there are any issues with those documents. So the different ways you're going to know that there's an issue with the documents is that when you come back into command and you come to this section, you're going to see that the status is either going to say accepted or it's going to say rejected. It's going to have a red bar or it's going to have a green bar. If it has a red bar, there will be a note telling you what the issue is and what you have to fix. And if there's a green bar, it will be fine and you don't have anything to worry about. Now, you will also get a notification on your Kelly app that is going to tell you that you've gotten a response or you've gotten a message from the office, as well as up here where this little bell exists, you will get something like this that will say that you have a notification. That's what that red dot means. And then it's going to tell you what the issue is for the property, and you can then go back in and fix that paperwork. So make sure when you've submitted your paperwork that you're checking your Kelly app or you're logging in and you're double checking your command to make sure that the office has everything it needs and that you are in compliance with the system. And that's the whole process. So in order to upload a buyer deal or a lease deal, you just come in and follow these steps. It's nice and easy, and then you're all set. I hope that was helpful and hope you guys have a great day.